We have audio. We ready? Okay, we'll call this meeting order. Rich, will you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to our town board meeting. We have a full agenda on this night, and the first item of business will to approve the minutes of the February 10th and February 24th meeting. Somebody want to make that motion? Motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilman Larkin. Any discussion? Changes? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll go right into the report of officers. Town clerk.
We have marriage licenses, $17.50, photocopies and faxes, $12.75, certified copies, $637, landfill fees and punch cards, $11,138, salvage license, $25, dog licensing, $196, building permits and site plan applications, $53.50. Bringing total local shares remitted of $12,079.75.
Supervisor's report for the month of February. Total monies on hand, $3,796,512.83. I'm going to ask the board members if you guys would just pick up the rest of the report. So, Assessor.
Report. During the next 6 weeks, we'll be focusing on reviews and inspections of parcels that have been changed, made on them. New buildings, demolitions, old buildings, additions, partial splits, mergers, etc. This is when changes to parcels are noted, assessments are adjusted accordingly, upcoming goals. Due to the COVID-19, New York State has suspended the requirement for senior citizens to renew this year. As such, unless there have been changes of ownership, death, etc., we will have the 2020 senior citizens exemption in place for 2021. Pursuant to section 501 of real property tax law, legal notice has been submitted to local newspaper Star publication on March 10th and 17th for inventory examination. No one past public is invited to come in person to review these files. However, due to COVID-19, the town hall being closed and the public concern the town employee safety, we're only doing phone call inquiries this year. This notice will be posted on the town clerk and assessor's bulletin boards as well as the town's website, respectively. But it's regular thing.
Okay, Justice.
Just report for February. Justice Fisk for 55 cases, collected fines of $5,547, fees of $70, and surcharges of $2,458. Judge Kavanaugh for 27 cases, collected fines of $1,115, fees of $70, surcharge of $646. There were 60 cases in February. Total dollars received February $9,976. Town share of January $6,581.
Let everybody know that the town court is back open this week, and they are doing cases here at the town hall. Dog control. There's no report this month. He didn't actually have any activities in the month of February, so which is good. Fred's doing a great job. Planning board.
Planning. There were 2 land use and development permits issued in the month of February. The zoning board does not have a meeting this month due to lack of applications. The planning board met on March 2nd to review the site plan for the community solar farm on Hackensack Mountain off Prospect Street. However, the meeting was adjourned due to technical difficulties. They will be conducting a public hearing on April 6th to review the project then.
You want to read the code enforcement too, Brian?
Yes. Process request for reduction of water and sewer at 33857 Main Street. Request is made by Westfall National Bank. The building is vacant, going to be demolished. Process with sewer and water reduction at 100 River Street. Building was destroyed by fire, that's the grist mill, and is unoccupied, so we're giving a break there. Finalize the AB application packet with the town of Wonder zoning regarding the hamlet expansion. Copy of the application map was provided and sent to the town attorney for review and completion. Reply to the town attorney with current changes to one of the codes being considered. 2 outstanding burning permits expired on February 4th and February 5th, 21. Place a warning notice on a vehicle at the Med Center parking lot. Supervisor Benoit complained the car been there for some time, in their way down there. Reviewed the total package from the town attorney and the planning department regarding the change to codes and zoning. It all looked okay. Recommendation to add special use setback of 25 feet to specify front, rear, and east side of the property was forwarded to the town attorney. Contacted Senator Steck regarding the wording that he and I discussed about placing mobile homes anywhere one pleases under state law 616. The car that was up in the medical center was moved and warning was placed on the windshield and so they don't do it anymore. Worked on the drafting of the solar energy panel placement ordinance, which would cover small rooftop and owners' yards. Solar projects that are up at about 40,000 square feet. Solar energy farms, consider. There was input from the zoning administrator, Patty Portal, with regard to wording and draft ordinance. The proposed draft was given to supervisor for review. Check streets for violation of snow plowing, and they seem to be under control. Enforcement efforts have paid off. Discuss with the highway supervisor to keep the town police car in the old town highway garage. I'm gonna follow up with him on that.
Okay. No beautification report this month. We'll have the next month. Highway.
We had a very busy month plowing and sanding with 6-inch storm on the 2nd, 2 inches on the 5th, half an inch on the 7th, 2 inches on the 9th, 2 inches on the 16th, along with freezing rain and 2 inches on the 19th, 3 inches on the 22nd, and 1 inch on the 27th. In between storms, we picked up snow on Main Street throughout the town and it opened up all catch basins for the spring thaw. Filled potholes throughout the town. We are now working on the 2015 F550, converting into a water truck for sweeping season, and also be checking on all of our equipment for spring cleanup.
Okay. Economic development. Rick?
No report tonight, thank
No
you.
report. Okay, thank you. Landfill.
Landfill, we're just still in the underwater a little bit by about $4,700, but once again, we're gaining slowly for sure, with the scale paid off. And near future, we're gonna be zeroing ourselves out with landfill. Look forward to it.
Lighting, John, anything to do on lighting?
Again, we're gonna be moving forward. Our attorney has the details on contracts to move forward with our lighting district. We're really excited to do that, but again, we're gonna be positive revenue by replacing all these lights in the future. That's a win-win for everybody. So before the end of summer, I think we're gonna have a new lighting district, all LED lights.
Historian Museum, we have no formal reports, but I will say there's some items in the rest of the agenda for the rest of the night on the Historian Museum. We have a couple items to bring up when we move forward. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, beach house at Echo Lake Beach is getting a facelift. It was great and painted the walls and doors as well as replace the rotted wood, changing them. We're also prepping the floors for epoxy paint. The bathrooms and Little League Shack are getting a fresh coat of paint, as well as the rec bar and garage. Snowplow was installed, a new F350 as well as our dump incentive was installed on it also. We plowed snow, kept the crosswalk cleaned up after several small snow and ice storms.
Okay, water.
Yep. One front plate was repaired, and 2 customers had their water shut off. We also did a meter reading for homeowner who was concerned about our usage, actually had broken pipes. Several repairs were done. The chemical feed outlets at both well houses, chemical feed pump was replaced. Were picked up water sampling for the year. New decking was installed on the equipment trailer. Yep.
The sewer main from the industrial park to the county garage has been flushed when the highway department had their sewer line back up. We also flushed their lateral at the same time. Cedarwood Engineering came to the plant to help us adjust our chemical feed, to help us lower suspended solids that feed the plant. A list of concerns were sent to Cedarwood to help us so we don't fall into non-compliance with DEC. The diffusers have been assembled and waiting for the snow to melt so that we can install them.
We have nothing on youth, but we will have something later on the agenda on a pickleball court. Communications received 2 letters of support for the CBG grant. One is from Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board, and the second one was from EDC Warren County. We also received 2 letters from the neighbors of the solar project on Lister Hill, one for Michael and Karen Johnson, and the second one from Don and Yvonne Miller. And you have them in your packet, and they expressed concerns about the project. Okay, unfinished business. I talked to Sandy Parisi, town historian, and you know, at the last meeting, you gave me permission to negotiate. And Sandy, I'd like to increase the town historian salary to $9,170 a year. So can I have a motion by John, with a second by Brian, to increase the salary of the town historian? Let's do a voice vote. Pam?
Councilperson Clark?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett?
Yes. Okay, that's the only unfinished business we had. News business. Resolution request authorizing the sale of vacant lot at 47 River Street for Fortunato Pablo for a sum of $43,026. Sale is subject to progressive referendum. Let's do that. Who wants to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Brian, second it. Second by Councilman Larkin. Let's do a voice vote.
Councilperson Lawrence?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett?
Yes. And that lot brought us a few dollars more than what we expected for it. So I want to thank our real estate agent, Linda Marcella, for taking care of that deal. And we ran around and got a good price for it. I have received an email from Brian Silly, president of Orangeburg Youth Sports, outlining how they would like to use the fields this year and the safety protocols for the season. And we definitely will work with the Little League, and hopefully they can open up in the future. They did a good job last year in the height of it, and Brian, they are very responsible, and they do a great job over there, so I'm pleased with that. We had a request from Councilman Winslow to convert one of the tennis courts into 2 pickleball courts. Councilman Rounds, you want to elaborate a little bit on what you're going to do there?
Yeah, I've reached out to actually 2 different local companies that specialize in that, and there's still a cold snow on the courts as we speak. So within the next month season here, where they're going to come and take a look, and we'll decide if once they're able to evaluate them, see if we can go from where they're at and just add coating and new striping, or if there's some actual repaving to be done. So I will seek out 2 prices from each one so that we can look at all what it costs.
Okay, thanks for that. Request for the highway superintendent to declare the 2005 Volvo tandem dump truck and plow surplus equipment and sell on gov deals, the auction site. So I have that in motion. John, second.
I'll second.
Ryan, voice vote. Pam?
Councilperson Larkin?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Councilperson Supervisor Garrett?
Yes. Next, from the highway department, we have need a resolution request to approve $113,000 for general road repairs. The road that will be worked on this year will be Pucker Street. That's pretty rough up there, and Eddie's going to have to put the majority of his road funds into that project. So motion to approve this resolution. Brian?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Second by John. We'll do a voice vote.
Councilperson Larkin?
Yes.
Councilperson Brown?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett.
Yes. Resolution, request from the highway superintendent to declare the 2008 Elgin sweeper as surplus and sell to the town of Lake Luzerne for $45,000. The sale will be made at the end of May 2021. Motion by John, second, Brian?
Yeah, just a brief discussion. I'd like to get it on the agenda to order the new one, you know?
Yep.
And, so we can.
We'll take care of this first and then we'll do that one. So we have a motion and a second to sell this one to the town of Lake Luzerne for $45,000. And let's do a voice vote on that too.
Councilperson Martin,
Yes.
Councilperson Brown,
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander.
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett.
Yes. Okay, Brian, you want to speak about buying, purchasing? We had talked about purchasing a new one. So you,
And I think it's, just, if we could get a motion to pull the trigger on that and get it ordered, because we don't know what the lead time is exactly, you know, so we don't wanna.
okay, so you make that informed motion, you go ahead and purchase a new one. Yes. We have a motion by Brian, do we have a second? Second by John, any discussion? Do the voice vote on the purchasing of a new Elgin sweeper?
Councilperson Martin,
Yes.
Councilperson Brown,
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander.
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett.
Yes. I need a resolution request to advertise for a museum director at an annual salary not to exceed $15,000. At discussion with Sandy. Right now, there doesn't seem to be anybody who wants to take on the role as museum director. Work with the Historical Society to draw up a job description and hours, but I need permission to advertise for museum director.
Like that motion.
Motion by John.
Big shoes to fill.
Second by Rich. That one we'll just do, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, and I'll work with Sandy and Historical Society to draw up a job description. We'll get it. Resolution request to amend this salary of the supervisor by $1,800. She previously received pay from the Cemetery Association to take care of all the work at the cemetery. Now that the work has been transferred to the town, I think it's only fair that we continue to give supervisor secretary the stipend. John, you want to explain what this entails?
Over generations, of course, there have been two paid employees, if you will, in cemetery, or on the church, or cemetery sexton, developed that maintains the cemetery, mowing and weeding and whatnot. And then a stipend to some of the secretary treasurer in that case, road association. A lot of work, a lot of paperwork when it comes to logging of the burial, selling the graves and whatnot. That's well reserved, and that's Danny was gracious enough to help me last year, breaking her in to get things going for the association to dissolve. So it's just kind of keep it continuing in that fashion.
So are you making that a formal motion?
Yes.
We have a motion, we have a second by Rich. Let's do a voice vote.
Councilperson Martin,
Yes.
Councilperson Brown,
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander.
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett.
Yes. Okay, that's carried. Next, as you know, with technology, a lot of technology changes, software changes, hardware changes. One of the things that when we purchased these meters back in 2010, right now the software used to run the program that reads the meters is like Windows 95. It's very, very old. It's going to be upgraded to a new, and it's not going to be a Windows version, but it's going to be upgraded to a new modern technology. So the most reasonable way out of this is to purchase equipment that will read our meters that we currently have. In order to do that, we have to purchase a tablet, and we are going to have to purchase one extra transmitter. So when they go around to read the meters, because the transmitters change in those meters over time. So we have a few meters with the new transmitter, and most of our meters now continue to use the old transmitter. So the cheapest way to do this is to purchase this equipment. We'll have a second transmitter that we put on the truck when they go around, so it will be able to read both meters at the same time on the same tablet. And then we just load them into the computer and it will generate, the business of the bills. And Williamson Law can do this. It's pretty reasonable cost. We had one vendor who wanted us to go out and purchase whole new meters, and I don't want to do that. These Badger meters have been great meters. They're very, roadworthy, so to speak. They stand up very well. And then eventually, when the heads on the meters go, all we have to do is go purchase new transmitters for these meters. So I need a motion to expend not up, just the cost would be under $20,000. I have the quote here. It's under 20. Motion by Supervisor or Councilman Alexander. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Rounds. Voice vote, please.
Councilperson Clark? Councilperson Clark?
Can I just ask a question, or is it?
Sure.
We're gonna purchase one tablet,
One tablet, please.
and I understand the difference between the two readers, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And then we're not getting anything for the meters that are out there,
We're not doing anything. We're keeping all that.
so how does a tablet with two readers, or the readers must be ridiculously expensive?
Right, the software do it.
Oh, is the software as well?
Yeah. The tablet is $5,000. The Trimble tablet is $5,000. The Badger multi-port is $5,609. The Badger receiver is $3,500. The billing for integral one-time fee is $1,620. That's one-time fee. Badger beacon engagement fee, which is required, is $2,400. Recurring fees is you pay a yearly cost of $900 for a license for the Badger readers, and you pay a login annual license fee billed by Badger of $600. And then you have a mobile hosting fee that you have to pay is $950. And the training for the meter for this would be $4,800. So that's kind of one time fee. So that's the cost of all of this. So what it is basically, you're getting a second antenna, you're replacing your computer with a tablet, and then you're getting the software.
Feel like they got us over a barrel.
Well, it's cheaper than going out and buying all new meters. Those were over 200,000. So, and again, when these meters, when the black part, the head of the meter goes, we can replace it. We don't have to go through this whole thing and buy another transmitter or any of that stuff. We'll have it in place.
Thank you for the explanation.
Okay, is that satisfied?
Yes.
Everyone
Everyone over this.
Yes. Councilperson Ross?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Supervisor Garrett?
Yes. In the sewer report, they mentioned concerns of the lagoons down there. We purchased the equipment to dredge the lagoons. Lagoons have been in place since 1992. We started the dredging process. We have to be careful with the dredging process, also with the amount of sludge in the lagoons. It's a very slow process. I think it's time, so we don't mess up our total suspended solids, that we think about bringing a company in with a big, like a big Sippin' Susie, to go in there and drain all three lagoons and get the process done. They've been there since 1992. It really needs the maintenance work, and I think even though we have the sludge barge that we're doing here, it's such a slow process. I think in order to keep those lagoons upgraded and keep them emptied out, we need to do a one-time expense of bringing a company in to dredge them. We talked about that once before. It's going to be pretty expensive, but talking with Tracy, they've been working with the DEC. I think that's our path forward to add life to our sewer plant.
The theory is, once done, then the apparatuses that we have.
Maintain them.
will be able
That's
to-
correct. Yeah. So I will work and bring you back all the information as soon as we set something up. It will be expensive. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's going to be expensive to get that sludge out of the buildings. We have water rate changes. You have them there. Water rates are obviously 100 River Street, going from a rate of $3.90 down to vacant because the building is vacant now. That was the grist mill. We have Dexter Duels gone from a single senior rate living alone to going from a single senior rate to a living alone rate. I don't understand that. It's going from $195 down to $48. Glens Falls National Bank building demolished, that's going from $415 down to $100. Sandy Parisi, again, a two-person rate down to a single senior rate of $48. Linda Bear, 261 River Street, meter was removed, water's turned off, be a $100 vacant rate. And Ed Webster is going from two-person or one family residence down to, from one family residence, $195.04 down to $195. That was due to a billing error. Does somebody want to approve those water? Motion by John, second by Rich. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Next, on the sewer. Glens Falls National Bank, the building is demolished, will go to a $100 vacant rate. Gristmill, that's going to a vacant rate because of the fire, that's $100. And then 106 River Street was, somehow that was never built, and that's going to a two-apartment rate of $702. And then Ed Webster goes from a two-person rate down to a single-family rate, $702 down to $351. Somebody want to make that a motion? Motion by Rich, you have a second? Brian, all in favor? Aye. Okay, sorry about that. Got tongue-tied on that, agreed. Today I met with the VFW on the VFW Haskell Brothers Post 4821 down here, 3754 Main Street. That's where our museum is hosted, in the office for the museum. And they would like to start another 10-year lease. In the first year of the lease be 2022. The cost would be $6,000 for the first year. That's the same as what we're paying them this year, and then it would increase 2% a year thereafter. And the lease would run until 2031. All the other terms of the lease remain the same. That's good for the town. People know where the museum is. It's also good for the VFW. They will get some funding in to help them with their costs. And I'm very satisfied, and I thank Phil Baker and the VFW for being so reasonable on this, and it allows us a permanent home for the museum for the next 10 years. So put some continuity into our museum. So I need a motion to get that on the floor.
Also move.
Motion by Rich, second by John, to lease out the VFW hall again for 10 years. Please call vote, please.
Councilperson Martin?
Yes.
Councilperson Rounds?
Yes.
Councilperson Alexander?
Yes.
Supervisor Gary?
Yes. Okay, and that's good. And our town attorney will be drawing up the lease, and then I'll get a hold of Phil and we'll sign. Now, this doesn't start until next year, so it'll be all in place. The application for amendments to the town Hamlin area have been sent to the APA for approval. The application was completed by Code Enforcement Officer Hall and the planning person, Patty Corlew. I thank them for that. We sent it along, we signed it, sent it along to the APA. Just waiting to hear back when potentially I can get on the agenda up there for expanding the Hamlet Temple Warrensburg. As I said, this will be the first step. And then if we're successful, we'll look at other areas of town to keep the ball rolling. If it works out. Next, we need to set up time for a public hearing, hopefully next month at 7 o'clock at the night of our regular meeting, if that works for everybody. The items that we will discuss at the public hearing next month is changes to the zoning laws. I've listed them as an increase in a temporary structure to 144 square feet to be consistent with what Warren County Codes has it. Foreign objects, we're adding snow to that code. We already have a foreign objects code, but we don't have snow in there. That needs to be added to that code. Mobile, modular, manufactured home definitions, that's a code that we need to add these definitions. And then donation bids, we need to change the donation bids that require a permit for those. We have a few of them around town, and we'll discuss it further next month when we do the public hearing. And the last but not least would be the special use permits, and that's to establish a special use permit. I know the town attorney has done a good job, and I've handed out all that information, and I would hope that the town board members will read it backwards and forwards. So next month, when we have our public hearings, if there's any questions about what's in there. And I believe that Mark Shatner or somebody will be on the call next month to answer any questions. So a lot of good information there. Please take your time. Please make yourself familiar with all the code changes. I know I gave them to you a while ago. So any questions? Any questions so far from the public?
Not a question, but Sandy would like to thank the board for both items passed this evening regarding the museum and the historian.
Okay, and that's Sandy Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two budget modifications tonight. First is transfer $1,000 from the contingent account to the historical clerk personal services, and that was to create the position of what Sylvia Van Gilder is working under to help Sandy out with her clerk fees. And then the second budget modification is $544.26 from contingent to our unallocated insurance account. And even though our premium went up a little bit, we did have some savings by taking some properties off that we don't need on it. But we need to do these two budget modifications to cover these codes. So if somebody want to make that a motion?
So, okay.
Motion by John, second by Brian. Discussion on the modification. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. The warrants tonight total $337,640.31. Motion to approve the warrants. Motion by Rich to approve the warrants. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Brian to approve the warrants. Any discussion on any of the warrants? It's the biggest warrant we've had in a long time. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Comments? Councilman Larkin, you have any comments tonight?
Although I didn't give you a report on economic development, I'd like to just say that there's a lot of inquiries about the people that what they are seeing is stores for sale on Main Street. But they don't know how to contact people to find out if they might be available for rent. So I've fielded a few of those calls, tried to make some connections with some of the people who may be able to assist them, and a couple of them sounded very promising. And with regard to, I've had the opportunity to work with the the Warren County groups who are involved with snowmobiling.
Okay.
And what they were all happy to get the county money, by the way, that did come through for them. What they have is a problem with the connections from the south end of the county to the north end of the county. And as fate would have it, Warrensburg kind of sits right in the middle of what they'd like to do. And I think we all recognize the vast amount of money that those snowmobilers contribute to the counties when they are able to get in. So not too far down the road, I'll come back to you and share with you some of the ideas they come to me with. And I've got to give you one of the most interesting suggestions that they came up with. They have a dilemma of getting across the Spring River. So they've sent me some photographs of an existing bridge that snowmobilers use here in the North Country. And it's a suspension bridge, and they're recommending we consider it just below the dam, which might lead right into our park over there. It's an interesting suggestion. I wouldn't say that we could get it done, but I think it's worth looking at.
Temporary bridge, you mean?
It could be taken down, but they leave it during the summers. The ones that they showed me are left during the summers for pedestrian traffic. So I thought it was a pretty neat idea. And I'd had talks with Supervisor Gary before The sidewalks are pretty plain here in Warrensburg these days. And the supervisor said that going forward another year, if we know they're gonna be coming through town, we'll definitely accommodate them.
We used to have on Hudson
You
Street.
used to get that one side unplowed, so you get down to ashes and whatnot.
Yep.
I'm on trail by Gabby's, and they'll work
We
around.
certainly left that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way to, get them through the park there or something. They're pretty good about, closing the trails when it starts to become a danger to the subsurface there, So, I don't see it as a problem.
And lastly, I'd like to give you an update on the exploratory committee for the Hickory Hill endeavor. First of all, through Bill Van Pelt's willingness to bring his property back up to a usable condition. The lodge has been secured with new windows. We're still waiting for propane. The gentlemen that have been involved, their family's been involved for 4 generations, have got the lifts up and running. They've got the equipment up and running. And we've got 2 local employees that, now we're happy to have an income. And they're trimming the trails, doing the safety circuit checks, the normal stuff you do on a ski hill. With Warrensburg as a town reluctant to take on the supervision of the lower part of the mountain, I can tell you that some of the people that are involved, some of them are stockholders, other than Mr. Van Pelt, and others are past stockholders, and the Ivy League Ski Club. They're in the process of forming a 501(c) for the purpose of doing what they thought the town of Warrensburg might want to do, which is operate the lower portion of the mountain. For the most part, the people that ski that mountain want to ski the upper part, and they all recognize or seem to recognize that young people still need a place, deserve a place to learn how to ski. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what they're going to gear that 501(c) to. And of course, having talked with Supervisor Gary over the last year, I came to better understand how important it is not to let things slip off the tax rolls. So I am part of the conversations with that group, and I will do everything I can to make sure that they understand.
Well, I think the land would stay on the tax rolls, so. As far as,
I don't want to see anything slip through the cracks.
Yeah, that can happen.
No, it's too big of a piece. But, the other aspect of it is I suggested right out of the gate that that's a year-round usable property. And as fate would have it, we established a relationship with ACC, who does some training over there, and they're very happy. And they have a couple more days that they're going to be bringing kids up. And the most recent one was for Avalanche Beacon location, which I didn't realize we needed that here in the East, but it's certainly a good curriculum to teach. And as fate would have it, there's a gentleman, I believe his name is Steve Lovett, retired DEC guy. He's an instructor with ACC, and he's, as soon as it's realistic, he's going to come and look the mountain over, see if we can establish some off-road bicycle.
yeah, he does great trails.
So that's pretty positive stuff.
On your properties, if people have a concern about property, they can always call here and we can always put them in touch. Call the assessor's office or even call the town clerk's office. We can find who is the owner of that property for them and give them at least a phone number to reach out to the property owner. We always have that information. And,
And our lobby will always have a listing of all the vacancies. We always get an update with DEC.
but I would say, have them call the town hall, have them talk to us, they can talk to any one of these offices, we can get them a phone number. We can put them in touch with the owner of the properties and see what we can. We have been working with a couple of businesses trying to help them, but if there's no reason we can't find a number.
Thank you. Yeah. And one last thing about the Hickory Hill. Tony Stein, everybody knows Tony, owns Echo Lake Camp, has reached out to Bill Van Pelt, and Bill asked me to handle a local conversation. And what Tony was looking for is a place to take his kids from the camp, as well as the counselors, and have an opportunity to have them in a place that they knew would be safe, especially with COVID, and not necessarily Lake George Village, which can present a problem for them. So we're in a conversation now to see how we can accommodate them on several days a week. So that will improve the use of that property over there as well. Thank you.
Right?
Just with this, Lister Hill Solar Park thing coming up, and they got the meeting coming up in April. Can we get some data for the planning board so they're not flying blind there? And because they're gonna get bombarded with questions, and at least express some of the questions to the developer, and so they're better prepared.
Yeah, I think they are pretty good. I think they've been,
I know they had technical difficulties, they didn't get through the meeting very good.
yeah, that was, we have the new computer, it's working fine tonight.
Yeah, Rich and I discussed it, locating it with some balloons or something, or.
Yeah, I've suggested it already too, and they are going to bring up, visual pictures of the total project. They're gonna do elevations for everybody, but I spoke to, Chris Stroud, who was the presenter, and he will be here, I believe he'll be here that night to talk about that, and I just want to assure people that we did it for the right reasons, and we'll continue to, we're listening to everybody. When I get somebody that wants information from me, I immediately hook them up with the solar people, and I believe the solar people have been pretty responsible. I know it doesn't answer all the concerns. There's some of those concerns in that letter that I don't know the answers to, but yeah, we'll make sure. But you may want to stop in and talk with Patty.
Right.
And
I
get
was
us-
just thinking of us council people, maybe get some of the diagrams and stuff that we could have as handouts, or we could go, I don't mind going first.
So I keep a set right there, so I mean, it's on the back table, so if anybody wants it.
I'll put home, so people are coming in.
We're okay. I mean, Mr. Johnson was in today. He took pictures. I would take pictures, and I also put the solar people in touch with him. Gave him his email and a telephone number, so, and he was going to reach out to him this afternoon. So
Yeah,
we're here. They can come in and look, and we can try to get them the information.
very good.
Okay.
That was my sentiments, exactly what Brian was saying. So we want to move forward. We've all voted to.
We voted.
Let's say, move forward with it. Revenue is what we're here to do a lot of. I don't think we're going to be seeing these at all. I like the idea of floating balloons, just in case so people can see where the boundaries are. You know, these things are only 9 feet tall on the back corners. It's not like there's windmills that it'll be a disaster. But so it's in perspective. It's a land lease that we're going to make some revenue on, and it's I don't think we're going to be seeing these things, but addressing the questions so that all the papers comfortable. That's important.
Absolutely. I have two things tonight. I want to let you know that the county put an RFP out for the glamping or for the use of the fairgrounds, and that we did have a Adirondack glamping come in. They're very reputable. We met with them Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? We had our meeting. We had our meeting on RFP. We're taking it to the committee at the county, the DPW committee. Parks and Rec is going to hear the observations of us. Very reputable company, willing to go out of their way for the county, for the town. And so I'm hoping that this project, the RFP, will be approved at our committee meeting and then taken to full board of supervisors next Friday. But very accommodating. I have a copy of the information in there. They answered all our questions. They plan on having 50 tent sites up there this year. They are going to run, they asked to extend it 1 week later. They're going to extend it to October 4th because of Americade coming in the week of the 23rd. And I did mention to them, that eventually you may want to consider keeping it up during the time that the town runs the garage sale. So, I forget what I called it. I had a pitch name for it, but so I don't know if he'll stay through the garage sale this year because, it gets a little chilly, although he has heaters for the tent. So I think that's a good deal for the county. It's generates revenue for the county. I think it'd be a great deal for Warrensburg. And he wants to get going as soon as he can because people are calling about making reservations. They had a great year last year up there and they expect bigger, better things from this. The other thing we got looming tonight, I guess they passed the federal stimulus package. Originally, when it started out, I told you guys a couple weeks ago that we were destined to receive $735,000. Of course, there's always negotiations. The last number I got on March 9th is we were, all the towns in the county were cut down. Warren County still was in line to receive 12 million. They upped the city of Glens Falls from 11 million to 12 million. And then they consequently chopped a lot of the towns. We still are the second highest amount. We would stand to gain around $430,000 if the stimulus package goes through. There is some guidelines on how we could spend the money. Certainly, I'll bring it to the town board and we can sit and make the right decisions on how to use this money. I think some is for broadband, like I said, others for sewer water projects, and I think public works projects. And then we also can reimburse ourselves for the amount of money we spent on masks and things we did during the COVID. So it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, I'll tell you that. If we were to get $400,000 of revenue to help us out, we certainly will be judicious and use it in a proper fashion. I know you've heard, we talked about a lot of our projects need to do. So that's it tonight. Danny, one more time, any comments from anybody? I would like to thank everybody who's watching tonight. And please, I'm usually in the town hall, 623-9511. And if you need anything, please see us. And I appreciate everybody being online tonight. And I appreciate the councilman. So a motion to adjourn. So adjourned. Thank you. We're adjourned. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When we get around to that,
I want to clarify a little bit about that sunset law that we're talking about, and non-conforming uses. It's a little murky to me or whatever, but
which one is it, Brian?
we do, it's on our agenda, but it's on the